But you don't seemingly like your own character, so she comes off as an insufferable, whiny brat.
I truly do believe that. There's something wrong with her. She's disturbed, she's unhappy, and she thinks it's about feminism and the patriarchy and about abortion. The reality is she's just not stable, like the majority of people in Hollywood. They're just not stable human beings.
Rachel is literally the star of a Disney movie, and she acts like she's some sort of victim, and that's the sort of mentality that is just poisoning people's minds. Like, she acts like her life is so bad.
It seems like Rachel Zegler doesn't even like her own character. And because of that, she comes off as insufferable, constantly whining, constantly complaining. Honestly, something seems deeply off with her. She's clearly not in a good place emotionally, but instead of addressing that, she cloaks it in language about feminism, the patriarchy, and reproductive rights.
And if you disagree with this sentiment, I don't need your business. Thanks.
But the reality is simpler. She appears unstable. Like many in Hollywood, she's lost the grounding most people have. Rachel is headlining a Disney film, yet portrays herself as a victim. That mindset, this idea that she's oppressed despite having reached stardom, is toxic. She wasn't just replaced or quietly removed. According to a leaked report from inside the Evita revival, she was allegedly branded a nightmare to work with by none other than the director himself.
And if you've ever seen Evita, it is a challenging part to play, and I don't think she has the temerity, the stamina, you pick a word here, in order to pull it off going, every single day that the theater is open.
This isn't fan fiction or social media gossip. These are real internal communications, memos, messages, firsthand accounts from the team that worked with her every day. And they're not just critical, they're brutal. One entry read: resists all direction, undermines team leadership, constantly disrupts rehearsal flow. Another added, she believes this production revolves around her. It doesn't. The leak hit out of nowhere. It was anonymous at first, but multiple insiders confirmed its authenticity within hours. And just like that, what had been messy gossip turned into something far more damning, a behind-the-scenes implosion of one of the West End's most anticipated revivals. Evita is a notoriously demanding role, and from the very beginning, it was clear Rachel didn't have what it takes, the guts, the stamina, whatever word fits, to carry it 8 shows a week. Her casting was hyped as a comeback, a fresh start, a shot at redemption after multiple missteps. But from the very first week of rehearsal, things spiraled. Walkouts, drama. A viral meltdown where she was allegedly escorted out by security in front of the entire cast. Initially, fans were left with more questions than answers. Did she quit? Was she forced out? Well, now the answers are emerging, and they're harsh. Once upon a time, studios knew better. They kept actors out of the headlines and away from controversy. But now, with everything online and unfiltered, the truth tends to leak out. And in this case, those leaks paint a harsh portrait. Private memos, whispered evaluations, notes never meant for the public. Someone chose to share them. Someone wanted the world to know. Now, Rachel Zegler isn't just trending. She's being cast as the villain in her own comeback story. So how did it come to this? What was in those director notes that allegedly pushed producers to consider scrapping the entire show? This scandal couldn't come at a worse time.
Exclusive! Branding experts warn that Rachel Zegler backlash could ruin Disney's big-budget Snow White remake and predict executives will be having crisis talks in order to win back fans ahead of the 2024 release. Rachel Zegler has been running amok and talking all about this new role that she will be playing as Snow White and how it has been reimagined.
It's no longer 1937.
And people are pissed, right? Because she's playing this iconic role and she's talking about how the movie is dated.
The cartoon was made 85 years ago. It's extremely dated.
It needs to be redone. Snow White is not going to be
saved by the prince.
And she's in fact going to be a girl boss feminist who don't need no man.
She's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be.
I don't think Disney anticipated that it really has a deep and strong emotional place in their childhoods and throughout their lives. And maybe that film from 1937 did not need to be reimagined.
When Rachel Zegler was announced as Eva Peron in the West End's revival of Evita, the industry took notice. It was bold casting, a young Latina actress fresh off high-profile projects stepping into an iconic legacy role. Headlines called it brave. Fans called it divisive. Insiders? They were watching carefully. She herself expressed excitement. This was her West End debut. She had come off a long Shakespeare run. She told interviewers how thrilled she was, how different audiences in London would be from Broadway. She made it sound like a dream come true. But behind the smiles, things were deteriorating quickly. Cracks began to show almost immediately. Reports emerged. Rachel arriving late to rehearsals, openly challenging the choreographer, clashing with the vocal coach. Standard celebrity friction? Maybe. But things escalated. Rumors of shouting matches, slamming doors, walkouts, cast members allegedly requesting schedule changes just to avoid her. Then came the infamous incident. During what should have been a closed-door rehearsal, Rachel reportedly refused to perform a newly choreographed number. In front of the cast, she shouted at the director. Security was called. Rehearsal halted. She was escorted out. Shortly after, a blurry video hit the internet. It showed a different actress performing Rachel's role on stage. You couldn't clearly see her face, but it didn't matter. The speculation exploded. Rachel had been replaced, silently, without any official word. Fans demanded answers. Who was the new actress? Who was the came from inside the production? Posted to a private Discord, then picked up by Reddit and theater blogs. The notes were damning. Zegler remains combative in all creative discussions, refuses to take direction, demands mid-rehearsal script changes. Other entries described her as isolated, critical of co-stars, and toxic backstage. One quote made headlines. "We're building a musical, not a kingdom." But Rachel thinks she's royalty. Dozens of alleged crew members and insiders confirmed the legitimacy of the leak. They compared it to known formats from other West End productions. Then more came out. WhatsApp messages from producers. "This isn't sustainable, one message read. "Director prepping understudy," said another. "She's done." Anonymous posts described even more chaos. She reportedly fought over costumes, demanded rewrites, gave unwanted notes to co-stars. A wardrobe assistant claimed Rachel rejected dozens of outfits. Cast members allegedly asked to avoid direct scenes with her. One comment revealed the security incident was worse than reported. Tears, shouting, people walking out. Security wasn't precautionary, it was essential. But there's more to the unraveling than just artistic disagreements. Sources close to the production described a toxic atmosphere where tension thickened day by day. Rachel was said to frequently challenge rehearsal plans on a whim, refusing to participate in scenes she didn't like. According to one assistant director, she often ignored blocking cues and called for breaks during critical moments. These disruptions reportedly derailed the show's timeline and frustrated nearly every department involved. Even the backstage crew wasn't spared. Set designers allegedly had to rebuild portions of the staging because of Rachel's personal preferences, delaying tech week by days. Stagehands, sound operators, even lighting techs were said to have faced last-minute changes driven by Rachel's spontaneous demands. It wasn't just chaos, it was unsustainable. Meanwhile, Rachel remained silent. Known for voicing opinions online, her absence was glaring. No tweets, no Instagram updates, no live interviews. Her fans were left grasping at fragments, trying to defend her without a clear narrative. And that silence, deliberate or not, allowed the leaked memos and anonymous accounts to shape public perception. What might have been a passing controversy turned into a full-scale industry cautionary tale. More insiders started speaking out, not with names, but with receipts. A rehearsal pianist anonymously posted about being corrected mid-song by Rachel. A marketing coordinator claimed she refused to show up for key photo shoots. And one PR assistant alleged she had stormed out of an interview set over a last-minute script change. If this pattern continues, Rachel could find herself on the wrong side of casting directors and producers alike. Because in theater, reputation is currency. And right now, hers is devaluing fast. But not all is lost, at least not yet. Rachel could still salvage her image if she takes decisive, honest action. A public apology, a candid interview, or even a simple acknowledgement of missteps might sway public sentiment. Her fan base is still loyal, still rooting for her. They just need a reason to keep fighting. And while fans continue to speculate, producers continue to regroup, and insiders continue to leak. One thing remains clear, the Rachel Zegler Evita saga is far from over. If new footage emerges or more messages surface, the fallout could be irreversible. So if you're following this story, keep watching. Because what happens next may not just decide the fate of one role, but the trajectory of a rising star's entire career.